Hello, 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 hello. I've just recently watched Sinister on Hulu. I think the film is also on Tubi. The funny thing about this film is like when I was growing up, this film scared the hell out of me. Like it came to the point where I just literally had to sleep in my parents' room because I couldn't sleep because that's how terrifying Sinister was. So Sinister follows this upcoming not up and coming writer, his established writer, but it's been 10 years since he made his great hit, right? So he moves into this house with his family, if a house where a murder happens, and he discovered these tapes. These tapes are snuff films. In case you're not familiar with the terminology of a snuff film is usually when a person films themselves conducting a murder. So he finds all these snuff films and he's trying to figure out who is behind these murders. So it's a mystery within itself. It also follows like a writer. These writer stories are very good, especially like when I think or reminisce on stories such as like Alan Wake, in which this writer he writes, but anything he writes becomes a reality. Um, this film is very interesting. It's not one that I see in my modern age that's very terrifying because this film, at least to me, I'm saying this objectively because some people get scared by different things, but it doesn't have any jump scare. Now, if you watch this and you see a jump scare, please come back and comment down below and like you lied to me. But like, no, there are no jump scares. The entity or whatever in this film, it walks very slowly. Everything is for the eye to see. Very aware. It does have some very touching sound design, but it wasn't as scary as I was when I first saw it. But I can imagine in the time period in which the film was established, this predates a little bit after Paranormal Activity. It's not necessarily a found footage film, but it does include some of those footages within the film. It has a very similar formula to the VHS films when you think about it, because like there's a particular character that watching tapes, and then these tapes play one after the other, and it's like, wow, what is going on here, right? And throughout the film, he finds more and more and more and more. I like how they did very good with the pacing. Even though it takes place in one setting, it doesn't feel bottleneck. It doesn't feel pigeonholed. It doesn't feel closed-minded because there's a sense of a mystery, but there's slowly details being more revealed. I like the sense that you don't really see. He's called the boogeyman in this Mr. Boogeyman in this film. You don't really get a full picture of it. You get teases of him, but you're not really sure where he is or what is this entity, or particularly what is killing the kids until like, or the families in particular, until like the very end. So it's nice one that keeps you on your edge. I think it's very reminiscent to like the Babadook, or at least the first time that I watched the Babadook and how there was an entity and they really didn't know that much about, but slowly details are being revealed and it doesn't do too much. It's just very subtle. This film was very excellent. It's definitely one of the better films that I've seen this month. Now, will I see it again? No, and that's not a bad thing. Like, it's a decent film, but it's definitely one that stays with you, and unfortunately doesn't have a lot of rewatchability. Like, once you find out the mystery of like what was done, there's not that much ambiguity. It's not even one that I feel like, I gotta go on a deep dive as far as like conspiracy theories, like what does this mean, what does this happen, because like I wouldn't say it hits you over the head, but like it's very clear what happened. Right now, you can probably like do some theology and research about certain things and certain characters, but it's pretty clear cut, and I don't think that's a bad thing because it does a great job of encompassing everything within the film. That after seeing it and viewing it once, you're fine. I just recently watched it again after God knows how many years, maybe even a decade, because it was listed on like one of those lists as like scariest films ever. The first time that I watched it, again, terrifying, horrifying, right? This film in Encounters of the Fourth Kind, Encounters of the Fourth Kind, especially with the utilization of found footage. And I think like in my psychosis at that time, I'm thinking like, oh my gosh, all these killings and stuff that's happened are real because it's showed on the Super 8 camera or some type of camera. It has to be real. And yeah, I think it's a very clever film. Wonderfully acted by actress. I think his name's Ethan Hawke. Yes, I think it's beautifully acted by Ethan Hawke. But without further ado, like, comment. Yeah, if you made it this far in the video, might as well subscribe. And as always, jaritos on me. See you next time. Ciao.